Chapter 18 Vishwadarshan Yoga. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. God of all gods, Ganaraja, you being the embodiment of Shanti Yoga, nobody has ever known your utmost reach. When the bearer of various tendencies and its illuminator end everything becomes absolute peace. Who, for whom, and how can one know anything? You are the nourisher of your devotees who instantly fulfill their desires just by bowing down to you. This is how the Veda Purusha has sung your glory. Chintamani Prabhu, who accomplishes the functions of this world, your ego is the visible power center of Shankar. Your legs are Vishnu, your eyes are Surya, the illuminators of the play of the world. Your mind is Chandra, your body is Adi Shakti, and your creative power is Brahmadev. In the same way, Indra is your hands, air is your skin, your ears are the directions, Ashwini Kumar is your nostrils. Your face is fire, Varuna is your tongue, your private parts are Yama, and your nature is Mahabuddhi. As the husband of Buddhi, you are omnipresent and remain in the hearts of everyone and give them intelligence. This is how you carry out the play of the world. Different kinds of creations keep happening through Buddhi and the Lord of Buddhi. This description in the Vedas is in consonance to the work you do as Chintamani. After purification of the mental vital consciousness substance, through the strength of worship of Ganesha, the sadhak begins to see Ganesha's form in everything, and his buddhi becomes stable. But the power of Paramatma is more in some places than in others. After listening so far, King Varenya realized the need to keep his attention on the spirit of Ganesha. The mind of a Ganesha devotee does not waver even in places where the power is diminished. Nevertheless, after being illuminated by the eye of wisdom, King Varenya had a doubt about the nature of experience and how to know the spirit of Ganesha in those places. Varenya vacha bhagavannarado mahyam tavanana vibhutayaha uktavastam aham veda na sarva sopi vetitaha. To understand this better, King Varenya asked, I know your great devotee Narad Muni has spoken about the grandeur of your spirit, but he too has not entirely known your spirit because you carry on your play in the world by taking shelter from various particles of the spirit. If Narada has not understood all those spirits, how shall I know about them? To know your spirit totally, I request you to bless me with your Vishwarupa Darshan. I want to see your universal form. Tvameva tattvata sarva vedsita dviradanana Nija rupam midani me vyapakam charu darshaya. King Varenya continues, O Ganesha, your face is the shape of Omkar. You only have the knowledge of your spirit. Nobody else is capable of knowing your spirit. Besides, you have told me and I have understood that whoever is the most excellent in this world is your spirit alone. But how did you, the absolute spirit, become the world? I would like to see your splendor. I would like to see your Vishwarupa Darshan. Please give me that Darshan. Shri Gajanana Uvacha Ekasmin Mai Pashya Tvam Vishwame Tacharacharaham Nanascharyani Divyani Puradrishtani Kenachit. Hearing King Varenya's prayer, Shri Gajanan Prabhu begins the description of his Vishwarupa Darshan. I shall show you my omnipresent form, wherein you will see all the animate and inanimate things of the world. The most surprising thing is that I am one form in reality, but there is an illusion of my play in various forms. Just as the waves rise and fall in the ocean, similarly, all creatures of the world appear to be in me. Nobody has ever seen this Vishwarupa, which you shall see presently. Only a yogi can see this with my grace, or whom I bless with the eye of wisdom. It is not possible for anyone else to see it. So I shall give you that eye of wisdom. What you have presently are ordinary physical eyes. You cannot see my divine form with those eyes. Jnana chakshuraham tedya srajami swapna bhavataha charma chakshukatam pashyen mam vibhumajamavyayam. I am omnipresent. I enjoy everything through the animate and inanimate creation in this world, but I remain detached. You can never understand this divine influence with the physical eyes. That is why I am called the Spirit. I am present in this world through 6 types of changes like birth, death, etc. But those changes do not happen to me. This meanness cannot be seen without the eyes of wisdom. Similarly, understand the nature of my imperishability or why I am called eternal. In this world, my powers grant prosperity which neither increases nor diminishes. That is why I am called imperishable. One cannot know my imperishable nature without the eye of wisdom. In place of your physical eyes, I shall create the eye of wisdom for you. Then you will be capable of seeing and understanding my Vishwarupa. I am giving you the eye of wisdom because I am the doer, the non-doer, and the otherwise the doer who is capable and forever independent and is the source of all powers. After saying so, Ganesha gave him the eye of wisdom. Blessed with the divine vision, he became capable of having darshan of the Vishwarupa. Since Gajanana was granting the vision and King Varenya was seeing it, the conversation stopped between both of them. The sight is being described by Vyasa to Sutta. Vyasa vacha tato raja varenya sadivya chakshura vaikshata ishitu paramam rupam gajasyasya mahadbhutam. Vyasa says, Sutta, listen. With his power of feelings, he was entertaining Gajanana. That is why he is called King Varenya. Since King Varenya had got the divine vision, he was able to see the Vishwarupa. Gods too have divine vision, but their feelings are ordinary. They do not have the divine sight to see the Vishwarupa. Since they are illuminators, they have divinity, but the illuminating capacity of God's eyes is limited. Here the divine vision is limitless in nature. The word used in the sloka is Ishitu. Yogeshwara has clarified this by saying, Prabhu Gajanan is the absolute holder of all powers and the absolute enjoyer of all things. He illuminates the glory of those powers as their regulator. Therefore he is called Ishita. She is the most excellent of his powers. There is no one in comparison. Therefore it is truly magnificent. Asankhya vaktra lalitam sankhyagrikaram mahat anuliptam sugandhena divya bhushambarasrujam. Vyasa says, Hey Sutta, I shall tell you about the Vishwarupa of Ganesha. Listen to it. The moment we say Vishwarupa, we think it to be a total absolute form. Everything is like a rhythm known as Tvampada, and that which is experienced as Tad is the Atman. Their total non-differentiated state constitutes the Vishwarupa. Just as many trees are contained in a seed, so is the case of the animate and inanimate things in the Vishwarupa. The ignorant are unable to understand the connection between the seed and the tree. A seed contains the potential for a whole tree with all its different aspects within it, but the seed by itself is detached from the tree. The ignorant do not understand this. The state of the Vishwarupa should be understood in a similar manner. The difference between inclusion and comprehensiveness is not easy to understand. It has to be known through discrimination. Among the animate and inanimate things, the multitude of faces can be clearly seen. This is the same infinitude in the Vishwarupa. The word Lalit in the sloka indicates beauty, which is applied everywhere. The innumerable feet and hands of the animate and inanimate beings are understood as the feet of the Vishwarupa. All enjoyments are experienced through the Jiva. They are all to be understood dispassionately as enjoyed by the Atman in the Vishwarupa. The next thing to understand about the Vishwarupa is the four powers of Ganesha. The Shakti power of the Vishwarupa can be seen in the names and forms of the innumerable creations of the universe. The Jiva within is the power of Surya. The joy aspect is that of Vishnu, and the detached nature is of Shiva. The non-differentiated form of Shakti, Surya, Vishnu and Shiva is experienced as the Swananda Vishwarupa Ganesha. The Swananda Atma Ganesh is the resident of the Vishwarupa. That is why he is the Lord of the four Brahmas, the Brahmanaspati. The Vedas have extolled his praise in this manner. When the world is in existence, his Tvam state of the Atman is active. Here the Vishwarupa of Ganesha is self-knowing. The gist is that only the one who has actualized all the four Brahmas can have Darshan of the Vishwarupa of Ganesha. King Varenya, who is endowed with the divine vision of Swananda or Swananda Chakshu, was able to see this kind of Vishwarupa Darshan of Ganesha. Seeing the Lord of Swananda, the bearer of the glory of Swananda, with the understanding that it is the Tadatman of the Lord that plays through various forms, and knowing one's own Atma is the undivided Atman, known as Swananda, Chakshu. The self-knowing Swananda of Ganesha is known by three names: Swananda Loka, Divya Loka and Nija Loka. That is why it can only be seen through the divine eyes of Swananda Chakshu. The description continues in the next shloka as well. Asankhya nayanam koti surya rashmi dhrutadyudam tadvarshamani strayo lokam drishtastena prathagvidha. Vyasa says, the Vishwarupa shows the infinite forms of the animate and the inanimate things of the world, which means that Varenya saw the light of a crore suns. Since there are countless beings in the world, so is his vision, where Varenya saw all the animate and inanimate things in the body of Ganesha, like the tree within a seed. Seeing the Vishwarupa, King Varenya did namaskar to Ganesha and began recounting his experience. Drishta Vaishwaram Param Rupam Pranamya Sanrupabravit Varenya Vacha Vikshe Ham Tava Dehesmin Devan Rishiganan Pitrun Patalanam Samudranam Dvipanam Chaiva Bhubrutam Vanarshinam Saptakam Cha Nanartham Sankulam Vibho. Varenya says, Shri Gajanan Prabhu, your name Vibhu can be known only through surrender, because remaining within the animate and inanimate things and enjoying everything through them as the Atman, you are the bearer of its power, but are detached from all of them. I shall relate to you all that I saw in your body through the divine eyes which you have graciously blessed me with. I saw gods like Indra and others, rishis and their ancestors, who were all in their respective towns surrounded by gardens. There were 7 hells, 7 continents, 7 oceans, 7 mountains, 7 rishis and 7 forests. I saw all of them in your body. You wielded unrestricted powers over them. I could also see your undivided aspect, and the greatest surprise was that you were not different. Bhuvom antariksham swargam cha manushyo raga rakshasan brahma vishnu maheshendran devan jantunanekadam anadhyananta lokadi manantam bhuja shirshakam pradiptanam sankasham maprameyam puratanam. He continued with the narration of what he saw. Varenya says, I saw the earth, the space with 21 heavens and all the jivas therein. I saw men, snakes, rakshasas. I saw Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Indra and other gods. There were several kinds of creatures. I saw the earth and the different padas therein. I saw so many other limitless things. It is impossible to describe all of them. Since you have no beginning, you are called beginningless. Since you have been there before everybody else, you are limitless, you are endless, you permeate all the lokas and live there. You have innumerable hands. You exist as the form of this world consisting of all the animate and inanimate things. You have innumerable heads too, wherein I can see all kinds of beautiful things. There are lights shining brilliantly everywhere. You are all that and the unlimited things that I see. Therefore, you are infinite and it is impossible for anyone to know your proportion. Therefore, you are immeasurable. Seeing the creation, sustenance and dissolution, you are very ancient. Kirita Kundaladharam Durniriksham Vadavaham Etadrisham cha Vikshe Tvam Vishalavakshasam Prabhum. Varenya says again, your body looks magnificent with the crown on your head, the earrings and all the jewelry that you wear. It is as though you have borne all the animate and inanimate things of the world on yourself. Looking at it in a different way, it is impossible to understand anything about you. Since you are known through the laws such as the object and its reflection, you are unobservable. I am very happy to see your all-encompassing form and glory. You being omnipresent, you know everything, and it is all included in your heart. Therefore, you are said to be large-hearted. You are the regulator of the whole world for all the animate and inanimate things. Everyone is governed by you in all their daily work. Therefore, you are called Prabhu. Sura Vidyadharair Yakshaye Kinnarai Muni Manushay Nrityad Bhirapsarai Robishcha Gandharvai Gana Tatparai. King Varenya continued, Gajanana, you are the Lord of Brahmas and so the whole creation is at your service. That is so because all the jivas are engaged in various activities through which they gain experiences. Every jiva is subjected to death and is not possible to enjoy the nectar of life. All enjoyments go to you, since you are the Atma within. This is true for all the experiences of the gods, the scholars, the Kinnaras, Munis, and even Apsaras who dance, and Gandharvas who sing and play music. All of them do their activities through their bodies, thus the enjoyment is temporary. The nectarous enjoyment which is eternal is enjoyed only by you. So all those activities are truly a service to you. Vasurudraditya ganaihi siddhai sadhyar mudayutai Sevyamanam mahabhaktya Vikshyamanam suvismitai. Varenya continues, since I am seeing all this in your body, they are all at your service. There is a great sense of happiness while serving with that intention in the intellect. I can also see that nobody is getting the real fruits of the service, as all of them are deluded by their own mind and their egoistic sense of doing. Your presence is not known to them. Who are we really? Who has this tendency for desire? Who is the doer and who gets it done? None of them seems to be aware of this. All of them keep doing things and getting more and more attracted in doing them. And eventually they fall into the bondage of repeated actions for increased happiness. Though they are doing your service, but they are doing actions for which they are neither getting fruits nor becoming free. Their pride of individuality, separate personality, and the sense that I am the doer determines their trajectory. Being unaware of your omnipresence, they are surprised and unable to understand that you are doing all the leelas. Their own sense of doingness and attachment keeps them bound to the cycle of birth and death. Vetaram aksharam vedyam Dharmagoptaram Ishwaram Patalani dishas swargan Bhuvam vyapya kile sthitam. Varenya continued, I saw your all-encompassing form. It looked as though it was eating itself. How does one understand that? Where everything has a name and form, which are all perishable, the only thing permanent is knowledge. which is devoid of any duality. Development of knowledge of different things and experiences becomes incidental for a life of birth and death. So, it is only the knowledge of your powers that is devoid of any dualities and are the seed of knowledge from Jiva to Shiva. It is only through knowledge that one can attain you. Therefore, knowing you is the true knowledge which is worth knowing. He says, you give fruits for actions only to human beings and animals according to Dharmagoptaram. It doesn't matter to you who the person is as long as they do actions according to their dharma. You have no enemies or friends and therefore you are hidden. Everyone gets the fruits according to the type of actions that each one performs. Therefore you are known as Ishvara. Your form is a mass of knowledge and should be understood as such. Wherever I see the 7 hills, 10 directions, 21 heavens, the earth, 7 continents and all that is there in them, I can see the power of your presence. The eye of wisdom that you blessed me with saw it in that manner. Bita lokastata chaham evam tvam viksha rupinam nana drishta karalam cha nana vidya visharadam. King Varenya, now having understood what he saw, asks Ganaraja Prabhu, seeing this form, I shall tell you what I feel. You are omnipresent, yet you are understandable through the power of knowledge. So, it doesn't appear that the world is different and you are different. Therefore, I want to know whether my understanding is true or am I deluded that Ganesha is the form of the world. Just like anyone seeing a tiger gets frightened, I too am frightened by seeing this form of yours. Though you are the creator of the tiger, but the fear is in the knowledge that it can kill you. I feel a similar fear on seeing this Vishwarupa form of you, Prabhu. So, is it proper to say that your form is the embodiment of knowledge? The kind of fear invoked in me is that of awe. Pralayana deeptasyam jatilam cha nabhasprisham Drishtva Ganesha te rupam aham bhrantam ivabhavam. Varenya continued, in annihilation, the flames of fire come out from everywhere, but I know that the Atma or the presence within them is you. So is the case with the mouth of all the jivas that I see in that form. I see ghosts, corpses, devils, etc., who look dreadful and have matted hair. The essence of the power within their head is your head. Rakshasas and other such species have huge bodies almost touching the sky. As the Atman within them, you appear to be like them. There are so many such weird kinds of recreations playing in the world who can be seen in your Vishwarupa. How much can I describe them? Your Vishwarupa is so strange that even understanding it is like falling into delusion. The world being all-encompassing with the self in all, Ganesha too is all-encompassing. Therefore, how do we understand your encompassing nature differently? The Vishwa that is all-encompassing is dual in nature, so it can be understood clearly. But you, Ganesha, are devoid of duality in your encompassment. How do we understand that differently? This is the delusion. Although I am endowed with the eye of wisdom, due to your grace, because of which I am able to understand the unity in that all-encompassing nature, the dualistic world is subject to tendencies of change. Though you are omnipresent, but are devoid of all tendencies. Even though I understand this, I feel that I am again falling into delusion. How is it possible to know the secret behind the appearance of everything due to the influence of the eye of wisdom? He explains this in Shloka 18. Deva manushya nagadyam akhilastava duddare shayam nana yoni bhujaswante tvayeva pravishanti cha. King Varenya says, it has to be understood that you who encompass the whole universe are within and without of all therein. This being clear, the gods in Svargaloka, the human beings on earth, the Naga population in Patal Loka, and the Jivas residing in all the 3 worlds All appear to be living in your stomach. The one form takes birth as different species. They behave differently, and in the end, they get absorbed into you. In other words, they give up all feelings of differences at the time of annihilation, as though they are lying in your stomach. At the time of creation, when they are born again, they assume the different forms of species. In the end, they get absorbed in you. Therefore, you are the only one who exists before and after. In between, you play about. This is how your Leela appears to me. Abdherutpadhyamanastam yatha jivut bindavah Tvamindrogniryamaschaiva niruttirvaruno maruta. In the 19th sloka, King Varenya says, just as a drop of water from the clouds that reaches the ocean was actually created from the ocean itself, similarly, the jivas in the inanimate and the inanimate world are created and absorbed into you. This means that the entire animate and inanimate world existed before and remains absorbed in you. During the stage of existence of the world, how do we know your beingness? Guhyakeshastadeshana somasuryokilam jagat namami tvamata swami prasadam kurumeduna. Numerous universes are created by you, and everything that happens therein is dependent on you. When they are in the unmanifested state, they appear different due to the influence of Maya. In spite of the existence of the main object, we get carried away by looking at its reflection, resulting in a different experience for each one looking at it. When the tools are removed, the reflection also disappears and the original remains. It is necessary to understand this specifically. A jnani is able to understand everything as it is, while an ignorant sadhak sees things differently. Let us look at the views of Sri Gargya Maharshi to understand the deeper knowledge of the Vishwarupa Darshan of King Varenya through the eye of wisdom. He writes that Varenya says, I saw the whole world serving you happily. All of them were engaged in various activities for the subsistence of their body. Even though it was your service, they were getting a great deal of pleasure in it. Such self-fulfilling activities appear as devotion to you. But since they do not understand that they fall into the bondage of life and death, their work in this world as activities for subsistence gives them joy in the form of sensual pleasures. But in the end, they still die. The nectar that is enjoyed by you within appears as though they are doing your service with devotion. Darshayasvanijam rupam Saumyam yat purvamikshitam ko vedalilaste bhuman kriyamana nijechaya. Even though the creation, sustenance and destruction of the world are experienced differently, still you are present as the uniform singular power. I know fully how you have played that. The 3 time frames are seen due to the enchantment of Maya. But you are one form alone. I bow down to you in namaskar. Please bless me with your grace. Since you encompass the whole world, you are infinite. Therefore, you can be called Sarvabhauma. Everything is under your control. You conduct the play of this world according to your will. How can anyone know that? Nobody. Therefore, please show me your previous calm form. It was only due to your blessing and your infinite grace that I was able to see your Vishwarupa. Thus, I have become truly blessed and I am grateful to you. Anugrahan maya drishtam aishwaram rupamidrisham jnana chakshuryato dattam prasannena tvaya mama. You may say that if I do not want to see this Vishwarupa Darshan anymore, then why did I make such a request in the first place? My reply is that I had prayed to you to make happen something which had not happened earlier, so that I could know the secret of your play. After having darshan of your Vishwarupa, I got all that knowledge. So now I request you to please show me your normal calm form. You gave me the eye of wisdom, therefore I was able to see everything, and have completely understood that the supremely great splendor cannot be seen anywhere else. The self-knowing is beyond all that, is inclusive and comprehensive, and is devoid of all forms, with attributes and without attributes, and it can be seen only in you. I was able to see it only due to your grace. Having accomplished such a great thing, I pray to you to resume your old form. I am a limited being and am comfortable only with your normal form. Shri Gajanana Uvacha Nedam Rupam Mahabaho Mama Pashyantyatya Yoginaha Sanakadya Naradadhyam Pashyanti Madananugrahat. Hearing King Varenya's prayer, Shri Gajanan Prabhu says, "You have been following my instructions meticulously and yearn to have the supreme siddhi. Therefore you should be called Mahabahu, the Great One." The Vishwarupa Darshan cannot normally be seen by anyone. Listen to the secret regarding that. Sadhaks who have not accomplished superconscious and supraconscious meditative union cannot have this darshan at all. Even the best of yogis like Sanak and others, or spiritual yogis like Narada, have practiced Bhakti Yoga and received my blessings to see this Vishwarupa Darshan. Earlier, only those who yearned to receive my benevolence received my divine grace. The process is to follow the path of devotion and make a lot of efforts. Eventually, when they become totally detached, they get the eye of wisdom. Thereafter, it becomes easy to have the Vishwarupa Darshan. Prabhu says, "He Mahabahu, this Vishwarupa Darshan cannot be seen by undeserving people. Even Sanaka and others, Narada and other yogis too, could see that form only due to my blessings." Chatur Vidartha Tattva Jnan Chatur Shastra Visharadaham Yajna Dana Tano Tapo Nishtam Name Rupam Vidanti Te. Whether learned scholars of the four Vedas, or experts in the four Shastras, or those who have performed many yajnas and undergone severe tapas, none of them are able to see my Vishwarupa form, nor do they have any knowledge about it. Shri Gajanan Prabhu says, "Scholars who have intellectually understood the four Vedas and the 6 parts are truly scientists on the Vedas. The most famous 4 Shastras are Karma, Jnana, Swarup and Bodhak. Purva and Uttara are the 2 types of Mimamsa. This is one Shastra because of which any decision based on the Vedas can be understood. Through Jnana Shastras, it is possible to know the knowledge of things. Through Dharma Shastra, it is possible to know about one's Swadharma. The 4th Shastra is the Purana Rupa Shastra, which is a collection of the 18 Puranas. These enable the understanding of various paths of worship. In this manner, as per the statement in the Smritis, Angani Vedas Chatvaro Mimamsa Nyaya Vistaraha Puranam Dharma Shastram Cha Vidya Heta Chaturdasha. These are the 14 places of knowledge that have been mentioned. The same instructions is given in the Padam Chatur Vedartha Tattva Jnana Chaturshastra Visharada. As per this, even if one expert is created through the study of all the knowledge, Vishwarupa Darshan still cannot happen to him. Merely intellectual study is restrictive. Yogic spiritual practice is a tool to attain step-by-step knowledge. So in the case with Yajnadana Taponishta, which means that even after accomplishing all types of yajnas, or giving away things in charity, or doing all kinds of penance, or the Vayu spiritual practices, still the sadhak cannot have my Vishwarupa Darshan, says Sri Gajanan Prabhu. All the spiritual practice is for the purification of the mental vital consciousness substance. After that, when one attains my grace through yogic spiritual practice, then only they have my Vishwarupa Darshan. Shakyo aham vikshitum jnatum प्रवेष्टुं भक्तिभावतः त्यज भीतिं च मोहं च पश्य मां सौम्यरूपिणम्. Shri Gajanan Prabhu says, one who wishes to see my form and know my entire glory, who desires the actualization of his goals and attain psychic powers of Abheda Yoga, for him the only path is single-pointed devotion to me. All taste for sense objects get destroyed and the mind remains engrossed in me. This is the sweetness of devotion. Only a sadhak filled with devotion towards me, who does all worship as prescribed in the Vedas and observes the customs as per tradition, can attain me completely. Knowing this, one has to give up all the enchantments of Maya and fear. Sri Gargya Maharshi too writes that even after the study of the 4 Vedas, having attained expertise in all the 4 Shastras and accomplished yajnas, etc., one does not get the Vishwarupa Darshan. That is possible only through devotion. Once a person understands this truth, he develops a taste for Ganesha. This is the first step. Getting the complete knowledge is the second step. And then actualization, which means getting absorbed in the non-differentiated form in a complete manner, which is the third and the last step. All this is attained only through the feeling of devotion to Sri Gajanan Prabhu. Madbhakto matparas sarva sangahino madartakrit nishkrodha sarva bhuteshu samo mameti bhubuja. Prabhu says, I exist as Atma in all things in this world. I am omnipresent and the knower of the power of the Atma in all. Without my power, no one is able to achieve any reputation. It is because of my power being established in his Atman that each one becomes capable in his own area of activity. Know this for certain. Avoid being the cause of sorrow to anyone. This is in consonance with my devotion. However contradictory a person's behavior might be, it is all due to destiny. Do not go against anyone or be angry with anyone. Have only positive feelings. Hold no bad intentions for anyone. Just bless them with prosperity. If not that, at least try to maximize the benefit to all, according to one's capability, since Shri Gajanan Prabhu lives in everyone as their Atman. Hold on resolutely to this attitude. The Lord of the intellect inspires one to act, knowing that there is only one Ganesha who is present in all and encompasses everything. Express your devotion by being loving to all. Once this knowledge becomes ingrained, one does not hold any alienating feeling towards anyone. Holding enmity in mind and wishing another's downfall are all alienating feelings. Knowing that all good and bad things happen as per destiny and being indifferent nullifies any feelings towards another. Not having any attachment towards the body means holding the view that everything is preordained destiny. So does it matter if the body goes or remains? One needs to hold on an equanimous view towards both. This is the absence of all connections. He does everything for my sake. He continues to try according to his skills and capabilities for the happiness of all living beings. He has no feelings of friend or foe towards anyone. This is equanimity. Such a sadhak is the best of my devotees and is blessed with the eye of wisdom. Therefore, he develops the vision of seeing me as an atom in all things around him, as I encompass everything. So the consciousness of name and form does not arise in him. This is the darshan of my wakeful state Brahma in its Vishwarupa. In this manner, step by step, this devotee, who is a worshipper of my Vishwarupa, attains me. After speaking about the worship of his Vishwarupa, Shri Gajanan Prabhu became silent. The completion of the entire vision of the Vishwarupa is accomplished by the darshan of the Vishwarupa, of the self-knowing glory of Ganesha. This concludes the 8th chapter of the commentary of Sri Ganesh Gita, written by Sri Ganesh Yogindracharya, the conversation between Sri Gajanan Prabhu and King Varenya, in the chapter titled Vision of the Vishwarupa, surrendered at the holy feet of Sri Gajanana. End of chapter 18.